Some people call it the zone, psychologists call it the flow state, coaches call it peak performance. It's all the same thing, that rare space where time slows down. Your body moves without hesitation, and your mind is locked in like a laser. Every pass, every shot, every decision feels automatic. The problem? Most athletes can't get there on command. They stumble into it, or they lose it the second stress, fear, or overthinking shows up. I'll show you how to enter the zone in command. Stay there longer and protect it from hidden distractions that are sabotaging your game. Flow state isn't magic. It's not luck. It's full absorption in the present moment. You're not thinking about the scoreboard, the crowd, or the outcome. You're completely inside the play. One movement, one focus, one decision at a time. But here's the kicker. Flow isn't something you hope for. It's something you train for. And just like how you train your body with reps, you train your mind with structure, discipline, and the right tools. So why do most athletes fail to enter the zone consistently? 4 reasons. Number 1, trying to control too many things all at once. The brain is incapable of multitasking. It only concentrates on one thing at a time anyway. So when you're multitasking, you're only moving from one to the other very quickly. Every time you do this, your brain, your mind, your body adjusts, making your attention span smaller and smaller, aka flow dies. Number 2, scattered dopamine. Junk food, social media, constant phone use, which is going to be dividing your attention span from one app to the other, from one social media to the other, and etc. All of it conditions your brain to chase cheap rewards that destroys the calm focus that's needed for the flow. Number 3, poor sleep and recovery. No REM, no deep sleep equals no memory, no focus, no consistency. You can't out-train poor sleep hygiene. Number 4, emotional baggage. Carrying frustration, fear of failure, or anger into competition yanks you straight out of flow. Flow isn't fragile, but it does require clean conditions. Or your emotions are cluttered, you won't get there. Let's break down the biggest flow killers. Junk food and sugar, Pop-Tarts, soda, candy, all of it spikes dopamine and then crashes it. This means poor focus, poor memory, and weak decision making. Performance doesn't run on sugar highs. Social media and constant phone use. Every time you scroll TikTok, flip through Instagram, or check 5 notifications in a row, you're training your brain to be fragmented. Your dopamine isn't organized. Your attention isn't organized. If you start your morning on your phone, you've already told your brain, today we choose and we seek novelty. Guess what happens on the court? Your focus chases novelty instead of staying focused on the court, staying focused on the play in the present moment. Excessive video gaming? I'm a gamer. I love me some Final Fantasy and Monster Hunter. I'm an RPG player, JRPG player, especially that recent amazing Expedition 33. But guess what? Here's the truth. If I wake up and immediately I pick up the controller and start gaming, my dopamine is fried even before I start my work. That's way too much dopamine, way too fast, way too quick, way too much gratification early in the day, instead of getting smaller amounts of dopamine and then building up to bigger ones. So if I do this and my dopamine is fried even before I start work, it's the same for you. Gaming belongs on the compensational side of the day, not the sacrificial side of the day. If it comes too early, it hijacks your focus. Emotional distractions. You get anger at the ref, fear of bad performance, worry about letting your team down. These emotions aren't bad, they're signals. But if you don't compartmentalize them, they fracture your focus. Chaotic environments, a cluttered locker, all disorganized, looking like some type of junkyard, loud distractions, disorganized routines. They all steal micro percentages of your brain attention, your mind focus. Flow demands clarity. Every one of these flow blockers have the same effect. Disorganized dopamine transitions to fragmented focus, which then transfers. Disorganized dopamine transitions to fragmented focus. Fragmented focus transfers then into poor decisions, transitions to physical mistakes. First, the brain suffers, then the body takes the hit. If you want the flow state on command, you must dominate 3 feelings. Stress, the satisfying solution to stress. Control the controllables, what you can control. Anxiety, satisfying response. Focus on the present, focus on the now. Fear, satisfying response. Take decisive action now. When stress, anxiety, or fear show up, and they always will from time to time. The goal isn't to eliminate them. The goal is to respond in a way that satisfies that control pattern. The goal is to respond in a way that reinforces your control. Enter SCBG, sacrificial and compensational behavioral goals. This is how you structure your day so that your brain, your mind is primed into that flow. So sacrificial side, probably in the morning. Let's say I'm going to give you some examples of timelines. So at 7 o'clock a.m., the hypnosis guided meditation recording. You can click it on the link below. 7:30 spiritual devotional. There's more data on what this means on the link below. 8 o'clock gym and strength training. When you do something in the early morning, something you don't want to do, your willpower expands. Throughout the day, you conquer the morning, you conquer the day. 9 o'clock walking in the sun. 30 minutes, 20 minutes. 10 o'clock, work, projects, chores. Then at 1 o'clock, you write down your SCBGs for the next day. And you transition into the compensational side. At 1:30, you finish all the daily steps. Most people aim for 10K steps to 15,000. 2:30, hobbies. You engage your hobbies, the things that you want to do, but you engage them from lower dopamine to higher dopamine. So at 3:30, you do a recreational sport, a board game, or listening to music. 5:15, you watch your TV show, the one that you've wanted to keep up with. 6 o'clock, you have your dinner. 6:45, gaming or continuing to watch a show. 8 o'clock, you start activating the 10-3-1 rule. 3 hours before bed, no eating. 1 hour before bed, no screens. 10 hours before bed, you should have started this earlier, but 10 hours before bed, no caffeine. So in the order of 10 hours before bed, no caffeine. 3 hours before bed, no eating, and 1 hour before bed, no screens. And then at 8:30, you can read a psychoeducational book. It shouldn't be too interesting. It should be psychoeducational. So if you're tackling fear of failure, it should be a book about fear of failure. If you're tackling boredom, it should be about boredom. If you're tackling fear of success, it should be about that, etc. And then at 9 o'clock, you sleep. A lot of people think that right when they're going to sleep, they should be knocking out immediately. This isn't true. It should be 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes, and you're practicing your diaphragmatic breathing, you're bored in bed, and you're slowly then falling asleep until you do. That should be the way. You'll be better with REM sleep, and you'll be better with deep sleep when you do this. The point isn't rigidity. The point is lock at least the first 3 goals of the day. Hypnosis, devotional, gym. If you win the morning, like I said, you win the day. Momentum is easier to sustain when you start strong. Even with perfect preparation, overthinking will sneak in from time to time. That's normal. You're a human being. When this happens, then you use the diaphragmatic breathing. Also in the link below. This isn't relaxation fluff, it's physiology. Breathing resets your nervous system, lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, and narrows back focus to one thing at a time. Essential for flow. So if you feel your mind racing mid-game, this is your reset. Now 3 non-negotiables: dopamine management, delay gratification, keep social media, gaming, and entertainments on the compensational side. Willpower management, start strong. Lock in the mornings. Don't waste decision-making power on distractions. Leave that for later. Sleep hygiene. Deep sleep and REM are essential for flow. These are the foundations of focus, memory, and energy. Without them, flow collapses. When you're reading that book before bed, you're training boredom before bed. The more you tolerate boredom, the more resilient you are to boredom, the more resilient your focus becomes. Add to that physical readiness, strength, mobility, nutrition, emotional clean slate. Don't carry frustration into the game. Don't carry it forward. Pre-performance routine. Your mental trigger sequence before every game. This is how you turn that flow state from a lucky feeling into a locked-in skill at your command. So here's the challenge. Start tomorrow with the first 3 SCBGs. Practice diaphragmatic breathing today, not just on the game day itself, and protect your dopamine, protect your sleep, and the zone will start showing up on command. Drop a comment with your sport and your greatest flow blocker. And if you found this useful, check out my last video on why you crush it at practice and fail on game day. It ties directly into this. For more sports psychology, coaching, and therapy tricks, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.